Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about the brand new Filter Effect foundation from Morphe. We're going to do an overview of the foundation, the claims, the price, the launch date, all the details you guys want to know. Plus, I'm going to be doing a wear test for you guys to really put this foundation and its claims to the test. So if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about the new foundation, go ahead and just keep watching. Alright, so just want to full out disclaim that Morphe did send me a PR package of this foundation to try. So huge shout out to the Morphe team for doing that so I can review this for you guys before it is live on launch day. In no way was I asked to make this video. I was just really excited about this foundation and I wanted to share it with you guys. So before we get into application and wear test, let's do a little bit of an overview talking about what this foundation is and what's so special about it. So we have a little booklet here that came with the foundation to give us some details about the launch. So the foundation officially launches on the 31st in Ulta's and on the 16th of February in Morphe stores. So Shayla is one of the faces for the foundation. She looks so stunning in the campaign photos. The foundation's main thing is that it's super hydrating. It looks really natural and flawless on the skin, and they are really pushing the fact that there are 40 shades that are universally inclusive for all skin tones. Now, I personally haven't seen all the shades. I didn't receive them, so I can't speak to that. There's probably swatches up, but I know seeing them in person is a little bit different. So you guys be the judge on how you feel about the shade range, but 40 shades sounds like a pretty good start. And also we have Danessa Myricks in here. She is so talented, and she was basically the creative director, photographer, makeup artist for this campaign. Oh, that's so cool. Look at how gorgeous they are. So what I'm really getting from this launch is they really wanted this launch to be very inclusive. Everyone has a shade and everyone can wear this foundation. So good on Morphe for doing that. We need more of that in the community, obviously. So let's talk about pricing. The foundation retails for $20 and you get 28 milliliters or 0.94 fluid ounces, which is interesting because usually for most standard foundation sizes, you get 1 fluid ounce. So it's interesting they did 0.94. Not sure why that is, but it's pretty close. It comes in a gorgeous frosted glass bottle and it feels pretty heavy. It has some heft to it, and it does have a pump applicator, which I personally really like for my foundations. Overall, the packaging is super sleek. It feels really high quality, so you can definitely tell that Morphe is putting a lot of thought into their packaging. I'll just go ahead and pump some onto my hands so you guys can see kind of what the consistency is like. Kind of runny, but again still has some thickness to it. So the Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation is an oil-free skincare-infused foundation that delivers a natural finish for healthy looking skin. Hyaluronic acid boosts moisture levels and vitamin E delivers an antioxidant protection. So that's really interesting. There's hyaluronic acid in here and vitamin E, which is supposed to be really good for the skin. Pore blurring pigments diffuse the look of imperfection, natural buildable coverage, long-wearing sweat-proof and transfer-proof, free of oils, fragrances, parabens, and luxe formula crafted in Italy. Fancy. So a lot of standard claims here that we typically get from foundations. It's very nourishing, it's long wearing, all the claims that we usually get, but something that is a little bit different is they have the hyaluronic acid here in this formula and the vitamin E, which is supposed to be keeping your skin super healthy looking and feeling, which I'm all about that, especially with the maskne going on that I am definitely dealing with. This is something I could definitely use. Also, they are launching with the foundation a new sponge. Just looks like this. It kind of has like a fuzzy texture to it. A little bit different than a typical beauty sponge that I'm used to. It has some very interesting shapes within it. Has the flat edge here, interesting edge here. It's a very interestingly shaped sponge, but I feel like it would be really great to get in all the nooks and crannies of the face to really blend things out seamlessly. Oh, it's called a microfiber beauty sponge. That's probably why it feels a little bit different than what I'm used to. It's a smooth, natural looking finish with this velvety microfiber sponge retailing for $10. And we also have a new brush that came with the foundation. This is the Morphe E63, and this retails for $16. Foundation, bronzer, contour have met their match. This brush can find and blend out every area of the face. So this is a multi-purpose brush, which is always good to have in your kit. It has a very interesting shape to it. It's kind of flat, but also has a fluffy part up here. It's very different than what I'm used to for a foundation brush, but hey, we'll give it a go. So basically the claims that we're looking for are healthy looking skin effect, long wearing, sweat proof and transfer proof, free of oils, fragrances and parabens, which we can kind of tell within the formula that that's true. And I can attest that there is no fragrance to this. Pore blurring, natural buildable coverage, and yeah, pretty standard claims there for a foundation. So with all those details out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the application and wear test so we can really put this foundation to the test. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get into application. I'm running a little bit late. I'm supposed to be doing some stuff this morning, but I want to get this on my face so I can wear it for a long portion of time throughout the day. So I was sent 3 shades by Morphe to try that are kind of similar to my skin tone. We have the shade Filter Medium 12, Filter Medium 11, and Filter Medium 10. Ooh, these already don't look to be my shade. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't think any of these are my shade. Here's the shade 10, 12, and 11. So I guess I'm gonna go for the lightest of the shades. I mean, they're all kind of the same. I'm just gonna have to fix it with concealer, I guess, so we can make this wear test work. So I think I'm just gonna go for Filter Medium 10. They did give us a brush and a sponge, so I guess on one side I will do the brush. I'm not a big fan of brushes, but definitely a little warm for me. Let's pray it doesn't oxidize too much. And I'm not going to use a primer because typically when I wear foundation, I don't use a primer. My skin is prepped with moisturizer and everything as I normally do. So the brush actually applies this really well. Usually brushes with foundation, it looks streaky in my opinion, but this actually doesn't look that bad. And since I'm wearing kind of like a turtleneck sort of thing today, maybe we can get away with this shade. I'm just gonna try and layer some of the areas that need maybe a little more coverage. So I'm gonna turn down my lights a little bit, but here's the side with the brush. Ignore this shade match. It is a little bit dark, but I think we'll be able to fix it if it doesn't oxidize too much. So now I'm gonna go in with the little sponge and apply on the other side. It's not like what I'm used to in sponges. It's a little bit like fuzzy almost. It does have a really gorgeous finish, this foundation. It looks really like youthful and dewy. I wish this was my shade because I'd be so much more excited about wearing this out. So this isn't my favorite sponge, but it does apply it pretty well. I feel like we're getting a little bit more coverage on the sponge side because I'm doing more of like tapping it into the skin than just wiping it on the skin like with the brush. So it's not clinging to texture at all, which I love because usually by this point when it starts drying down and sinking into the skin, it really hugs onto the texture. And being someone who does have acne prone skin, that's something I always try to shy away from when I look for foundations. And this is just sitting so nicely on top of the skin. It's actually a really pretty finish. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the sponge side. So between the two sides, I don't see much of a difference. It looks virtually the same on both sides. So whether you want to use a brush or a sponge, you're probably going to get the same sort of effect. The sponge just does give a tad bit more coverage. So far so good. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup and I will come back and show you guys what it's looking like. Alrighty, so I am going to have to head out with just my base on, but I am going to be wearing a mask, so we'll be able to test the wearability of this foundation with a mask. It's always good to check things nowadays now that we are wearing masks, but when I do get back, I'll be able to sit down and take my time a little bit more, do my makeup and talk a little bit more about the foundation. But so far so good. My concealer and powders applied really well over top of it. The only thing that's off is just the shade, but with some lighter concealer I think I'm able to kind of pull it off. So we'll see how it wears. It could come back and look completely orange. We'll see how it wears. But the time right now is 9:33. So I'm gonna run out, do my errands, come back, and I'll discuss the foundation with you guys. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright guys, so I am back. It's a little bit later now. It's about almost 1 p.m. now, so about 4 hours. I was out running some errands. I did get a new iPhone, which I am so excited about, but I was wearing a mask for a lot of it, so this kind of put the foundation through a little bit of a mask test, which I feel like is super important nowadays for everyone to know. I'm going to take a closer look. The foundation actually looks really good. like especially the nose area where I wear my mask up here, obviously over my nose correctly. There is a little bit of rubbing, but it wore off very subtly. It doesn't just wear off in a big chunk. It wore off very ever so slightly up here, and especially on my chin down here, it wore off obviously from wearing the mask, but everywhere else, like along the cheek area, it held up really well. So I'm actually super impressed. The only downside to this foundation is it is definitely not my shade. A little bit off there, but that's not, you know, anyone's fault. I just need to get the correct shade of the foundation. It's not hugging crazy to my textured areas. Probably was wearing the mask for at least 20 minutes to half an hour throughout the whole time that I was out, and I did try to vlog a little bit on my phone to show you guys me going out, wearing the mask and everything, and I tried to show you guys the aftermath of how the mask was looking. There definitely was some transfer, but I mean, I didn't expect there not to be. It kind of is a given with foundations. I'm super shocked when foundations don't transfer nowadays. It looks really good now that I have the mask off. There's just a little bit of wear off on the chin area. That's pretty much the majority of it, but I did have concealer over top of this area, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and apply some foundation over this area once again. Normally wouldn't touch up if we were doing a wear test, but because I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and film some more for this video, I kind of want my skin to look a little bit better than what the mask took off. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some lunch. I'm probably gonna do the rest of my makeup, do some more filming, and I'll be back for another check-in. So far, so good. All right, guys, so it's a little bit later now. I went ahead and did some filming and finished off the rest of my makeup, and I wanted to show you guys how the foundation is looking, so I'll go ahead and show you guys a close-up. So overall, I'd say it's looking really good. I don't think, again, it's hugging to my texture too tightly. I think it gives definitely that really blurred look that it was talking about in the claims, and I just want to make a note. They do have a long-wearing claim and a transfer-proof claim, and that didn't really prove true on the mask. I mean, it didn't transfer as much as other foundations do, but it definitely does transfer. So just want to put that out there. But I am still just super impressed by the finish of this foundation. It definitely is super blurring. It doesn't hug funny in any areas. It doesn't sink super heavy into lines. I think that the skin looks actually super healthy, which I know is one of the main goals of this foundation. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how my skin is looking. It's currently almost 3 p.m. So it's been about 6 hours of wear, minus the little touch up we did on the chin from it rubbing off from the mask. But overall, the skin looks really good. And this is honestly wearing a lot better than some of my other favorite foundations. So I'm pretty impressed. So we're going to keep wearing it throughout the day. I'll do another check-in with you guys a little later, maybe around dinner time, and let you know how the foundation's wearing. So I'll talk to you guys then. All right, guys, so it is now almost 8 p.m., which means it's been almost 12 hours that I've had this foundation on. So I think I have a pretty good feel for my thoughts on this foundation. So let's get into it. But first, let me just take a quick look at how my skin is looking. We did go out to get carry out, and I was wearing a mask, of course, so some more did rub off my chin, but that was just kind of to be expected. But otherwise, everything else really looks like super good. Like the way that this foundation sits on the skin is unreal. It's so skin-like and so natural looking. I've never tried a foundation like this before. Like, I am so excited about this. I can't wait to get it in my actual shade so I can wear this out all the time, because I think that this is going to be my new favorite foundation. My foundation that I love to wear all the time is the Morphe Hint Hint Skin Tint, but this one, I think they outdid themselves. So I am super impressed. I'll go ahead and show you guys a close-up now. I hope you guys can see, and the camera's picking it up. But even like over the textured areas, I have some lines in the forehead. I have some deeper pores here that it's not super sinking into. Like, the technology of this foundation is like unreal. So let's go ahead and get into some final thoughts. So overall, I think you guys can tell that I am super impressed with the foundation. I think this is gonna become my new go-to. It is so natural and skin-like, and the way that it sits on the face is so flawless. I think Morphe really hit it out of the park with this foundation. So once I get my correct shade, this is gonna be like my new everyday foundation. I am so impressed by it. And actually, I did post about reviewing this foundation today on my stories on Instagram, and Morphe saw it and reached out and said if I want a different shade, if these shades didn't work out for me, they will totally send me a new shade. So I'm gonna let them know I need something a little bit lighter, but Shout out to them for having amazing customer service and wanting people to be happy. It's affordable. There's 40 shades. It looks amazing on the skin. Another downside was that this area was really rubbing off with the mask. It's really hard to make makeup mask proof, and makeup isn't meant to be worn with a mask. I mean, being in a pandemic, hopefully this isn't forever and that's not something that we have to worry about forever. But other than that, I mean, there's no complaints. It wore super well. It's almost been 12 hours and my skin still looks really good. I could go a few more hours if I had to. So if you're able to, I definitely recommend getting your hand on this foundation if you're in the market for a new one. I just want to throw it out there. I do have a Morphe code. It's Drew at checkout. No pressure. There's a lot of creators that could use your support right now, so use the codes that you wish. I want to say thank you again to Morphe for sending this out to me and letting me be one of the first to try it out before it launches. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you are notified next time I upload a new product review or something else to this channel. I'll also have my social medias linked down below in the description if you guys want to check out my work when I'm not here uploading. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.